everybody, Mountain Man Jay here. I'm going to teach you a simple snowshoe that you can make with 3 or 4 ply plywood. It's very cost effective, very easy to make, and they work very well. This is the first setup right here, with cleats at the bottom. Drill your holes for 550 cord and or parachute cord, what you'd like to call it, and then a modified version using a Simpson bracket and carriage bolts, 24 inches, 10 inches wide, parachute cord or 550 cord, and how to use a medium size tire tube to help hold these in place. That will be in the clip attached. So let's get going. Okay, so here we go. A very simple snowshoe setup. It's roughly 24 inches all the way from long point to long point. If you're a bigger person, you can make them 36 inches. Instead of making it 8 inches wide, you can make it 10 or 12 inches. Whatever you need to do to carry your size. But off the front of the tip, it should be 4 inches. Roughly 2 inches on each end. And then what I like to use is a coffee can. You can determine what size you would like to make the radius or the arch. Here in the front and in the back of the snowshoe. Once you measure from the 4 inches from this point to this point, you now use this coffee can to make your actual opening, and then you cut it square. This is where your foot will turn. Again, these are 8 inches wide. Flip it over, you're going to have 2 cleats from the front, 2 inches, and from your straight cut here, 5 inches. These cleats should be 6.5 inches long by 1 inch wide. I like to use a few different screws. One of the kind that I like to use, and I like to leave them sticking out for any ice. You got the Hardy backer screws, 1 1/4. They will work very well. This first set we made, we painted these with an exterior grade paint. You can see where they chip off a little bit. Wasn't really the best idea, but it does work. It'll keep the plywood from delaminating, okay? So you need to seal them. For the modified version, it's the same length as the first one, but instead of cutting your arch or your radius right here, you're going to roughly make something 4 inches, 5, whatever you prefer. You need 4 carriage bolts. You'll cut your radius in this piece, and then you'll use a Simpson bracket that's already on a 22.5 or 45 degree angle. You will mark it, drill your holes, use your carriage bolts, and bolt it down. Use some lock washers. You can see the carriage bolts on this side. Once I was all done, I took a torch and I torched it to seal it, which has worked well. I put an additional cleat on the back. This is made for my son, so he's growing into them. And I also put this cleat in the back to counter the weight of the Simpson tie in the front. Now you use 5 when you drill your holes here. You want to drill about 1/4 inch, and I use 550 cord or parachute cord, other people call it. And you can judge where you want this for your foot, but roughly you're coming 3/4 inch on the edge, 1 inch down, 1 inch in, 1 inch in. I would start off with a piece of 550 cord about 36 inches long. You'll feed it through the first hole, out through the second, over, down, and back out. This now allows you to put your foot right in, and you can tie it. But before you do that, you go down to your local tire sales and see if you can buy a inner tube, or if they got any broken ones, they'll give you, you want a medium size. You would slip this over your foot and up your leg. You'll tie this on, and then you'll pull this over your boot, which we'll show in another video, and attach it to this. And that will set you up for going on a nice hike using your snowshoes. Son Luke here demonstrating how to use the snowshoes. So you have your parachute cord or 550 tied around the toe, held back a little bit, and this is the tube, medium-sized tube. You torch these snowshoes to seal them. Go ahead and work in the snow, Mike.